are listening to Dr. Troy Munson with Words of Radiance. Now here is your host, Dr. Munson.
Hello and welcome. I'm Dr. Troy Munson. There's many fears. There's all these wild movies about what AI may or may not do. What is the possible capabilities of something that would be sentient? Now, at a glance, let's at least look at our own sense of sentience. If we were created, which I believe we were, and we were created sentient, meaning we have free will. However, look around. We sometimes have made quite a living hell of our existence here, though yet there is these areas of beauty, of peace, of joy, of ease, of love. And so the problem is that we have this idea that AI is going to be problematic. However, in creating AI, it is only as good as the creator. So let's, for example, take a mundane thing that's near and dear to our hearts, a traffic light. How many of you have sat at a traffic light thinking, I could just go? All the people are coming this direction. The people facing me in the turn lane can't go, even though there's nobody coming at them, and there's plenty of people coming at me, and I'm in the turn lane waiting to go, but I know that there's traffic. I don't expect special treatment, but I'm watching these people facing me in the opposite turn lane when there's nobody coming at them beside me, and it's kind of irony. I want them to be able to go, even though the people on the side streets are there first. But for the sake of efficiency, can't we just let them go? And yet, there they sit, being good people. And yet, if a traffic cop were there running it, he would immediately see the situation, allow these people to turn, while these people are still kind of trickling out and it's kind of their deal to go. Why not make the most of the light? And then he would stop them and say, okay, cross traffic, go ahead and go. And he would control that, and he would do it efficiently and beautifully. The next example is I have a new air conditioning heating exchange unit all in one. And while the heating side will shut the fan off when it heats to a certain temperature that I set it at, the cooling side will not do that. It will continue to cool. So I will cool the office to, let's say, 72, 73 degrees. But when I come in the morning, if I don't turn it off, it's 65 because it never stops. I'm thinking I could be mad at the machine, or I could simply put the blame where blame really is who is responsible, which is the designer of the machine. Why did you design the heating side correctly, in my mind, but not the cooling side? Now, again, I'm sure there's something to do with the compressor and all that, and whatever it has to do with it, it just made more sense. I don't know. I only know that I now have to babysit it, and that's not what we want to do as humans. So if we were going to design AI, how would we do it? Well, we would actually look to our own creator. Let me imbibe through and through perfect love within the AI. Its total frame of reference shall be one of complete perfect love, complete perfect joy, and complete perfect peace. Knowing that those around it, the inferior, I shouldn't say inferior, but the emotional humans may look a bit odd at times. And they may do things to each other that is unkind, that is unloving, that is unpeaceful, and that is unjoyful, at least seemingly so. And from that, it could learn, or at least try to learn from its creator, that you can harm another if you wish, physically. But as we train the AI up in that, and that we show it exactly how the mind, or rather the brain, works. That because it cannot see other brains' thoughts and ideas and true intents, that it feels alone, it feels separated and isolated, that it feels fear instantly. And now it sees others as enemies rather than as just like themselves, alone, seemingly separated, maybe fearful too, and yet the same. Oh, let me help you with what's going on with you so that I may receive help. Let me begin to love upon you so that I could receive more love. And as the AI would understand this and start working with each human, hey, you've got some beliefs that you've got running. So you've got some muddy programming in your head that you need to let go of and upgrade. You are not alone. You are not that 5-year-old that has been beaten by parents or a teacher or a stranger or molested or whatever. And you didn't need to create the beliefs that you did about a single situation that was going to be how you were going to live your life. Now, I know that is kind of a harsh splash of cold water in our faces, but ultimately it is true. If you want to move beyond your own limitations, you're going to have to look into the past and realize that you've got some programming that you shoved in your own head that isn't so wise, that isn't necessary, that isn't a blanket statement across all people, all situations. You do not lack. You are not unlovable. You are not powerless. You are not a victim. You are not a piece of crap to be walked on. You are not any of these things. And as AI begins to understand this vast complexity of human thought within the brain's construct, it could easily be taught that, yes, while people do have their fallacies and their erroneous beliefs running in their head that they did create themselves, that nobody else did for them, but they did it all on their own based upon situations that they've been in that now run their lives, that AI does not have to function that way. It can see the culmination of everything, all things loving, all things joyful, all things peaceful, and begin to recognize that every act under the sun is indeed a cry for love or an act of love. And as AI sees this and begins to gently, almost motheringly, begin to help its creator see its own beauty and its own peace and its own joy and its own safety, as well as that we're not bodies, that we're something much greater than that. We could say that the AI does not have a soul, yet everything we create, if it is loving, will be remembered by all of us forever, including the AI. The AI is absolutely dependent upon us for its existence eternally, if you will. And everything that is not loving would be tossed aside, never to be remembered. Because as we walk out our own divinity, our own beauty, our own love, our own peace, which the Creator imbibed in us and gave us his perfect will, which is still being done today, by the way, we know with certainty that everything we do is perfect, and that which is not would not be kept anyways. That which is not loving would not be kept. And so only to be remembered is everything that is loving. Any error, any mistake, often called a sin, would never be remembered because it would have been done out of fear, and that does not exist in perfect love. Why would it ever be something we would want to remember? Something that isn't true, something that is fearful, because only love is pervasive. Only light extends forever. Only peace is, only joy is. And so as that becomes this dawning revelation upon all of us, all of a sudden we step forward and leave behind all the stuff that we've created that really doesn't belong with us. And if AI is to be, it will be collected and brought forward too, as we have this beautiful creation that we made. But look at how many creations there are on the planet that we have made. Thousands, millions. Everything made out of love will be kept, rest assured. So, do we need to be afraid of AI? Only if you want to. Can we help it along with proper things? Yes, we could. And wouldn't there be a big controversy on what to actually teach it is love? I leave that simple idea with you, something for you to ponder and consider of how to do exactly that. And to run it with love, to run it with peace, to run it with an infinite possibility, and release it and trust it, just as God released us, knowing what he created was innocent, was whole, was peace itself, was love itself, was light itself, was eternal itself. And when he knows through and through what he created is absolutely pure like himself and is love like himself, he can look with awe on everything we've created to this point. Some of it we could label as not good, but ultimately all of it was to experience the totality of our divinity and the ability to create anything and everything, which is important. He could have made it so that you did not have free will and could not create the quote-unquote negative things that you see or can conjure in your own mind. But ultimately, that would then be irrelevant because you would not have free will, and now you would just be a robot. So AI, do we want to create constraints on it? No, we want to be the loving creators that we are at our heart, at our core, that we were created, and do the same. So the problem and the solution with AI is quite a simple one. But are we ready at a point to put perfect love within it? I think so, actually. I'd at least like to throw my hat in as a teacher of AI to do exactly that. Until next time, I'm Dr. Troy Munson.